Mi gente, it is time for Cafecito break. Take this moment right now to warm up the feed. It's time to wake up. There is a battle in New York. This is an urgent emergency live stream from Boots on the Ground Warriors. We're going to be discussing tonight all eyes on New York, the battle in New York. For us, it's Curtis Sliwa versus Zoran Mamdani. But if you're listening to the mainstream media, they might try to tell you that Cuomo has a shot. Not with the people, I'm sorry. All right, mi gente. Thank you for being here today. This is Rosangel of Cafecito Break. Our special guest today is Sal Greco. We also have Alexa from Voices of Seniors. And this show is hosted by myself, one of the Pérez sisters, and Cozy's Wellness, Mark for NY. I want to start today's video with a hot topic conversation. So would like to know what you guys think. And this is from a Sliwa supporter.
Ready? Yeah. Hello, tell us your name and what brought you here today.
Oh, I came here to help Curtis get elected because I think he's getting screwed. I mean, Cuomo lost the Democratic primary. Why is he even running? It's a scheme that he's helping Zendami, who won the primary and also a Democrat. So Cuomo is helping steal votes from Curtis. I really believe that they're working as a team to take votes away from Curtis Sliwa.
Do you have a message for your fellow New Yorkers?
Yes, please vote for Curtis. Last time, I think only 82% of New Yorkers did not vote. 82% did not vote in the last mayoral election. 40% of them, you got to come out. 82%. That means only 18% voted in the elections. If they all came out and voted with their hearts and who they think will be really the best, not what the fake news says, not what the president says, not what a radio station say or the news. Have you ever been polled? Has anybody you know ever been polled?
Right.
No.
Right.
So what are these polls? What are they talking about?
And they're so misleading. But you make a great point. We need to come out and vote.
We need to come out and vote. Curtis is being robbed right now. Cuomo should not be in the race. He lost. He's helping Zendami win the race by stealing votes. If I spend a $100,000 commercial, my polls will be up too.
Ciao.
Hello. Welcome to Cafecito Break with the New York Freedom Fighters. I'm your host, Rosangel, one of the Pérez sisters. That adorable face that you saw right before is my other half, Alex Pérez. Shout out to Alex Pérez and Alan for giving such a great interview. With me today are my brothers, Mark for NY, Cozy's Wellness, and Sal Greco, who is our special guest today. Thank you for being here, gents. This is a hot topic. The polls, I just saw one right before we were setting up the show, and the weaponization against Curtis Sliwa, according to a lot of our eyes, it just keeps just getting ridiculous. All right, Cozy, what do you think? Please introduce yourself and tell us your thoughts.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Cozy, a former healthcare worker that was fired for refusing the COVID vaccine. Just been spreading the message for medical freedom for almost 2 decades now. And that's all I want to say right now, because there's a lot to talk about. Basically, there's a lot going on. I want to say F you to Katsamatidis. I want to say F you to whatever his name is, Bill Ackman. You guys think you're going to control the narrative. You're trying really hard. There's lots of money right now being used to pay off your favorite voices, your favorite influencers. These are fake influencers, people with no soul. I see you guys, either you're terrified and you're scared, you're retarded or stupid or retarded, or you're taking the money. Either way, shame on you. Shame on you. New York is on the line. The city is burning. It's going to hell in a fucking basket. And we're the sane voices that are trying to wake you the hell up, before it gets fully destroyed. Now I'm going to pass the mic to Mark for NY to introduce himself, because I can go on all day and I'll be back for more fire for you guys.
Hello, fellow freedom-loving Americans, and hello, New Yorkers. I'm going to keep it PG-13 for the first half hour of the show on Brooklyn free speech. But the second half hour, I'll be sure to curse people out as per usual during this election, because I'm extremely pissed off at New Yorkers right now. Former city council, former state assembly, former U.S. Senate candidate. The polls are BS. A perfect example is my own election, where the previous election, I was at 27%. Nobody thought I would even get 30%. I ended up getting 49% on election night. So what the polls say and what the experts say in New York mean absolutely nothing. There's one guy out there who is pounding the pavement, hitting the streets, and it's anybody's game, and that is Curtis Sliwa. There is nothing more effective in politics than face-to-face campaigning. That's what I did in Coney Island. That's what I did in my district, face-to-face. The voters got to meet me personally. They got to talk to me, and that will beat any other, campaign ad on TV or whatever the fake news says. If they go and say Mark is crazy or whatever, they're like, well, I met Mark and he's a really nice guy and he has good ideas. The news is full of crap. I'm still voting for him. And that's what a lot of the Sliwa's voters are going to do. So the polls are BS, and I'll do the non-PG rated one at the halfway point of the show. But it's time to pass it on to one of the OGs of the show, one of our regular guests who has his own show, and he's joining us today. Sal Greco, thanks for coming on. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I heard the music. I thought for a second I was at Con Sofrito, but then I'm thinking I'm at Cal Bakery because they love Cafecito. So it's funny, as Rosie, I always joke around with her about that. For everyone who doesn't know who I am, I used to be as you could tell in the back, I was in New York City Police Department for 14 years until I was unceremoniously terminated because I am friends with Roger Stone and I supported President Trump, who, I don't know, he never mentioned my name other than one time. But I lost my job for being a Trump supporter and a friend of Roger Stone's. They said I associated with him in a criminal association, even though they all hang out at Jimmy Rodriguez's spot with every felon you could see. So there's a lawsuit that's pending in my case against the city of New York. So I do have a vested interest in New York, even if I don't live there, because we have to resolve this one way or the other. That Eric Adams, who never had a chance to ever get reelected. And people were, I was the other farce here. Eric Adams still doesn't want to even touch my case. They've dragged their feet because I got terminated in August of 2022. It's now November of 2025. What are we doing? Oh, we're dragging our feet and the taxpayers are paying for it. And by the way, I have so much information, so much dirty stuff that I've been laying out on my own show, the Sal Greco Show with the Finest Unfiltered with John and Eric and Marlon. All that stuff is going to be in the courtroom. So the longer they take to try to discuss this, the more it'll be, more money is going to pour out of cash register for the city. But as far as this election goes, like I was saying, and trust me, I know a lot about elections because look who I'm around. Number one, before we start what's going on today, just a few months ago, it was the same crowd, social media clowns, Fox, CNN, all these people, WABC. Eric Adams is the only choice. Even though we know he's a criminal, was indicted, should be in jail, and there's plenty more stuff to come with him. He was going to be the savior in New York City, polling at 10% in reality, and the highest unfavorability ever in any poll, 70+%. No one's ever seen that. You know who's number two? Right behind them at like 60%? Andrew Cuomo. That number, no one's ever surpassed, by the way, in any New York City election. You can't win with that high of an unfavorability. Now we get to the primaries. It was so bad Eric Adams didn't even run because he can't win. He can't get elected dog catcher. Forget about mayor. So when Cuomo runs, what happens? He gets destroyed, not only in the field. And mind you, all these people, a certain radio show host said, number one in the ratings. Andrew Cuomo's going to win that primary. He got shellacked. Not only did he get shellacked, okay, he was supposed to be like 95% the next mayor of New York City. Every poll said that. John McCarthy and Eric Dim had Mr. Mamdani on their show, even if it was for 20 minutes. You know what John said? He kept saying one thing. Mamdani's going to win that primary. Everybody saw this happen because he was the straw man. You have to understand Democrat politics. Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo could not win an election one-on-one against Curtis Sliwa or any other candidate. Eric is a criminal. Andrew is a criminal. They can't get more than 40% of a vote anywhere if it was one-on-one, which was proven in the Democrat primary when Cuomo got like 36%. That's a ceiling, folks. That's a ceiling. People hate him. He's detested. So he got smoked. But they created the straw man, and Mamdani was supposed to be the third candidate to help one of them get past Curtis, blew up in their face, and now he's the main guy. And the worst part about this, guys, is Fox News, WABC, every day, and certain social media people, I got to keep hearing that he's a terrorist, he's a jihadist, he's all this stuff that I want to see proven. Because this is an election about New York City, not about Israel, not about the president, not about what's going on in D.C. What's going on with affordability in New York City? What's going on with public safety in New York City? Let me ask you, when you walk down the street, do you see how much it costs to hail a cab? Do you see how much tolls are? That's what people are worried about. Their kids going to school. Nobody cares what happens in another country, and nobody cares what happens in D.C. Trump has very little influence other than money coming in federally, okay? The money that comes in federally, which you got to do a budget for, that is down the road. Day-to-day operations, the president does not run the city unless you get indicted and he lets you off the hook in a complete scam. That's another story, though. So all of this fear-mongering has created a monster. And Mamdani looks unbeatable and invincible because everywhere you look, every conservative, every mainstream media person and social media influencer is mentioning this guy. You know what they're not mentioning? You know what I've seen? His financials, his campaign finance report is a disaster. It's so bad that I don't know how he hasn't been knocked on the door by an FBI agent by now. The campaign finance board has all this stuff. He's headed down the same road as Eric Adams. There's plenty of straw donors, which I keep pointing to on my own show, and there's foreign contributions, a felony. So this guy is wounded coming in. Cuomo, who already we understand, that guy has no chance. I don't know how many times I got to keep saying this. No one with a 60% or above unfavorability wins an election. I don't care who you are. Not even Trump was that high. He was pretty up there. I think he had 40, 50%, never 60 and definitely not 70. So all of these factors, I don't understand what's going on here because the one guy who's been campaigning the whole time for the last 8 years, actually, for mayor, common sense, the people love him. He's much higher favorabilities than Cuomo, okay, almost with Mamdani. That's Curtis Sliwa. But you know what he's not? He's not favored by the elites. He's not an establishment figure. And you have people like the president himself, like Bill Ackman, like what's this other Bill? John Katsimatidis. These people are all getting together with a certain lobby. Check the names of that lobby and who these people are who are constantly screaming, Cuomo's going to save us. I mean, I disgustingly saw Dov Hikind, who I spoke to, I'm not going to lie. I was speaking to him for a little bit. All for Curtis just yesterday. It looks like he was in handcuffs. Cuomo's the guy. After he said all this stuff about him, and then today he was with the clowns over there somewhere in the World Trade Center. Like, these 4 clowns that were out there are going to actually change people's minds. When I want to show you, look at that video. There's nobody there other than press. So that's all you need to know. Cuomo has no support. Nothing is organic. Meanwhile, Curtis, everything is organic. So, I'll give you guys the floor, but I just had to get that off my chest because I can't believe what I'm seeing. And I can't believe people actually believe this low information talking point.
Yeah, I just want to say something, like, because now that you're saying that, like, I think what's happening is they're using a narrative to get the Jewish people scared, okay? And they're getting them to think that Cuomo's a great person. And the way they're doing it is they're calling him an extremist, a jihadist. I don't think he's an extremist. I don't think he's a jihadist. People can say whatever. I don't listen. He's going to be terrible. Okay. I want to stick to the policies. If you stick to the policies, that's how we use our brains and decipher who's the best candidate. Okay. If you're calling him an extreme Islam, I think that's just bullshit. He might have said things that are terrible. Yes. But I don't think he's going to convert people to Islam. These crazy conspiracy theories that they're having, like he's going to bring Sharia law. Like, no, he's not. Stop the nonsense. That's fear mongering to get you to vote for a scumbag. Okay. The scumbag is Andrew Cuomo. Listen, this is the game. And, basically, I just want to say that people, you're being fooled, right? They're fooling the Jewish people. The guy's pandering. He's kissing butt. He's making them feel like he's the one who cares about them. He didn't give a shit about them. What happened during COVID? What happened during COVID? How badly he treated them. Okay. So anyway, the point is, all you influencers, all you billionaires pumping money into this, and a lot of people are falling for it, right? Because money is powerful. When you start seeing the advertisements, like you said, low IQ, low information voters are going to believe that shit. But thank God for you, John, for you, Sal Greco, John Macari, Cafecito Break, Mark for NY. You guys are hitting it repeatedly, multiple times a day. This is an information war, and we're on top of it, and we're striking hard, and we're gonna let the world know. Listen, I'm gonna go down with the ship. We're fighting for our lives.
Cafecito, I think you're muted.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And luckily for these technology things, little pop-ups say that for you in case you like wig out. Okay. Because so I had an experience just yesterday with a canvasser for Zoran, excuse me. It was just like I was like around and they were, giving out flyers and they were being, there was a few of them. Well, please vote for Zoran. Please vote for Zoran. So then I got approached. It was like, hi, would you like a flyer? And I said, no, thank you. Are you going to be voting for Zoran? And I said, no. And the immediate question was, why? Because he's a Muslim? And I had like probably like the longest pause in the world because I'm a brown person and it's a white woman saying this to me. So I had like this, like, I didn't even know what to do with it. So I leaned in and I said, are you aware that I'm a brown person? And she's like, that, but you're not answering my question. Do you have a problem with his religion? I was like, what is going on here? I was like, no, he has no experience. I'm going to vote for Sliwa, ja. But I didn't like that encounter because I'm like, is this how you're training the canvassers? Are you giving them talking points to like, it's like you're just looking for wounds that nobody has brought up. Like when Dami was like crying, like an emotional. I love a man who's tapped in and tuned in. But if you are taking on a leadership capability, and you guys please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm speaking from the point of view of leading, mi gente, multi-million-dollar show productions for MTV Networks, BET, and VH1. Many of you look upon me like if I'm just a little kid in the street. You should not cast too many judgments because so many of the people that we all rock with are some of the most solid people filled with integrity. As you see with this push for everyone who's just like, Curtis, drop out. Curtis, get your supporters to drop out. Curtis is not dropping out. Everywhere he goes, everybody's like, but look at the polls, you can't make it. And then if that's not bad enough, then they start going to, okay, who are his hardest supporters? Let's start attacking them. So when I was interviewing Scott Lobedo the other day, and he straight up like he all of a sudden, I asked him a question about loyalty and how did he feel about, being called this, people like us getting called spoilers. And he just took this big, deep breath and you could just see the this exhaustion in this man's like being. It was like, I did this with Trump already, and now I have to do this with my city, and people are threatening me, and people are like sliding into my DMs, and I'm losing friends and families again. And I'm looking at him and I was like, oh, I feel you, because that's exactly what's happening to the Perez sisters too. Maybe I'm not and that's such a magnified level, but definitely it's happening. And it's exhausting, because then when you have the freaking know-it-all conservative influencers that are out there, you know, backseat driving, and they don't know shit about our New York City politics. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Beep, please cancel this. It's really frustrating because they add to the noise, and some of them fund and they helped create a confusion momentarily in their naivete, but they're so pompous and so wealthy and they have a platform, and they're gonna have to freaking tell the little people in New York. No, we're all loyal to Curtis. Mark.
Yeah, I mean, you can curse on the show, Brooklyn Free Speech, so don't worry about bleeping anything out. I'm just saving the cursing for the halfway point so that people stay and tune in and wait for my rant for today.
You know something, Mark? I want you to say one thing before you go in anything. You mentioned the polls, right? When they said you were at 27% in 40-inch. Can you explain to people what a likely voter is and a registered voter? Because I'm pretty sure your polls were saying a likely voter is 27%, and they never touched registered voters or what party affiliation they are. They just threw this wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of thing and threw it in your face. Oh, Mark has no chance at 27%. Those are likely voters. What the hell is a likely voter, Mark? Explain this to people, because they believe the polls. Oh, wait, no, they don't believe the polls. So I don't know which one it is.
I mean, they believe the polls. I mean, the fake. Republicans don't believe the fake news when it's Trump or when it's the polls for Trump with Hillary Clinton or whatever. But now all of a sudden the polls are believable. But the polls could be different. Like I saw something. First of all, the number doesn't really matter. Like I saw one of the mayor polls and it polled 1,285 people. Okay, so there's like how many millions of people in New York? Like, and where did you poll them? Did you poll them in the most Democratic area? Like what, I just want to clarify, it wasn't a poll. It was the previous election in that district 4 years ago was 27%. The actual polls, I don't know because I didn't pay attention to them, but the previous election 4 years prior was 27% in that district. So they were just going based off of that. But the polls could be text messages, and maybe Republicans get a text message and they don't answer it, and maybe a communist does. And maybe you're walking in the street and you're polling people, and Republicans don't want to be bothered because they have a job, and Democrats don't. So they're just sitting there. The communists don't. They want free stuff. They don't go to work. So they'll sit there and they'll take the poll. And the Republicans like, no, get away from me. I got to go to work. So, I mean, you can't trust the polls on anything. So, that's not all the details on polls. I'm not each poll is different. Some are more accurate than others, but I mean, the polls for Curtis Sliwa are, if you're going into Williamsburg and you're polling people, yeah, Curtis Lee was going to be between 10 and 20% over there, but you're not looking at the big picture of all of New York City, and that's the big problem. But Cafecito, what happened with you was Democrats use the same strategy no matter what. It's the race card. It's still, and it doesn't work. It's like when I go and I'm campaigning and I'm trying to red pill somebody, I don't go and say, oh, you're not voting for Republican? Why? Because you're fucking retarded? Like, I'm not going to say something to piss them off and then, like, oh, I don't want to be retarded, so I'm going to go and vote Republican now. It's like, they think that if you call them racist, that, oh, I don't want to be racist, so I guess I'll vote Democrat now. I don't want them to think I'm not voting for him because he's a Muslim. No salesmanship, no convincing anybody anything. Just name calling and BS. So the classic race card is what you got there, and it doesn't work too well. But I'll save my rant for the 30-minute mark. We got a couple more minutes on Brooklyn free speech. So, Sal, anything you want to say before we wrap up the first half?
I'm going to say this. I could tell you, we're talking about polls. This latest one you saw, where they said Curtis with 11%. First of all, it's likely voters. There's 500 of them. We don't know who's registered. We don't know what party affiliation they are. This is what they call one of the suppression polls. Somebody calls up, commissions this. They do it very cheaply, very quickly, and they throw it in your face. So, oh, it's doom and gloom. And it just happens to be the 10% or 11% they're saying that Curtis has will all of a sudden have Cuomo being even with Mamdani. Understand the psychology they keep using. That is not the case, okay? That is not the case. And by the way, speaking of polls, I could tell you from someone inside of Curtis's camp that went around. They're in Brooklyn everywhere, by the way. From King County is very big. You know, there's Crown Heights, there's Coney Island, there's Brighton Beach, there's Bay Ridge. So they're canvassing everywhere, talking to people, knocking on doors. And that poll that they did while just talking to people that are registered voters, you had 40 for Mamdani, 30 for Cuomo, and the rest was Curtis Sliwa. So why is it that your eyes don't mistake what you feel, but then these people like Fox News and WABC, I mean, disgracefully, someone today, very prominent on there, is simping for Andrew Cuomo because I believe his father did today, which is disgraceful as a former police commissioner. So, I mean, you know, it's like the whole thing has completely collapsed. And by the way, that police commissioner, stop, question, and frisk, and a nightmare that NYPD in New York City still has to pay for was under that guy's watch because very heavy-handed with that. The one thing that person didn't do. Came out for Andrew Cuomo, by the way, who is anything but pro-law enforcement, just so you know. He's Mr. Defund the Police, cash bail, and released 43 cop killers, and he'll let everyone out of jail because Rikers Island is just going to be another like a real estate, like brand new real estate for them. They want everyone out so they can make their little real estate. You know, John Katz will have like WABC studios there, you know, a satellite station. This is ridiculous. I don't know how people falling for this, but again, many are low information in New York City. That's your problem. You need to be informed. If you don't believe me, you could Google everything because it's right in front of your face. You want to check out Zohran Mamdani's campaign? Go on the New York City Campaign Finance Board. You'll find the straw donors and the foreign donations if you think I'm lying. And check out Sam Mantar, whitecollarfraud.com wrote a whole article about it. Now it's catching steam. Now, they're all straw donors and the 501c3 scam. That's what's really running New York City right now. That's what's funding businesses, 501c3. So you guys want to vote for this guy? If he gets indicted or whatever, don't look at anyone. You knew it was coming, and you fell for the trap because you listened to John Katsimatidis, who he's for Mamdani. Okay, he likes this kind of stuff.
All right. Well, we got to wrap up Brooklyn Free Speech. Those of you tuning in on TV on Brooklyn Free Speech, on Verizon 44 in all 5 boroughs, Optimum 69, and Spectrum Channel 56. Saturdays 2:30. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.